Hello and welcome. Today I will continue drawing the fantasy map around the Oxgate region in Eastern Farraway. I am especially going to focus on drawing the map legend using a dip pen and ink. I will also show you some film clips from a nature reserve here in Oxford, where a giant used to live, according to legend. And I will talk about how you can use folklore and local history and incorporate it into your fantasy world building. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for their kind comments regarding my last video when I unfortunately smudged ink over my map. Several of the comments were really helpful, and people came up with different advice, including that I could use white ink to cover up my mistake. But one of the suggestions that I got was that instead of hiding the ink smudge, I could use it as a part of the map story. I absolutely love this idea. I am a big believer in failing forward, both as a DM and a storyteller, and in life in general, to be honest. So I have decided that recently there was a roaring wildfire during the summer, which has left the landscape south of Viversh Hill burnt and ashen. I got up before dawn to film the sunrise to share it with you. And I also wanted to show you the autumn landscape and nature in the best possible lighting. This is a nature reserve in Oxford where, according to legend, there once lived a giant. Unfortunately, the giant is long gone. Once there was a large neolithic mound called the Giant's Grave, which was located here, but it was destroyed during the Second World War. But nevertheless, there are still signs left of the giant. These stones are called the Giant's Marbles. These stones could of course be glacial erratic stones from the last ice age. Or they could be marbles that were used by the giant during a game of marbles. I will leave it up to you to decide what you think. When it comes to fantasy world building, I often add folklore and history to my stories that sometimes are based on real archaeological findings or legends. For example, the monoliths, the twins near Buckbridge, are partly inspired by a raised memory stone called the Hunting Stone, which is located on Öland in Sweden, where my grandparents used to live. There are also other neolithic stones and stone circles around Dartmoor that have made their way into my books. So, if you are writing a book or an adventure, don't be afraid of drawing inspiration from old histories and folklore legends and include it into your stories. And here I had to pause my drawing because Sally demanded attention and cuddles. This is the final result of how far I came today with drawing my fantasy map. I am honestly quite pleased with how the map legend turned out and the way it matches the title banner. And I'm really curious about how it will look when I add watercolor paint later on. Next week I will continue with drawing the compass rose for the map, and I will also show you various maps from some of my favorite fantasy books. I hope that I will see you then, and until then, have a wonderful and creative day.